Do you want to see the deleted scenes from my award-winning short horror film, The Tree Witch? So there's 3 scenes that were deleted from the final film. They were in the first kind of rough edit that we did, and because of the runtime that we were kind of restricted to for the anthology, this would have completely taken it well over the runtime. So cut these 3 scenes out for the runtime, but also they didn't quite work within the film as well. So scene 6 is part of the dream sequence which happens in the film, and it was another scare, and it was just one scare too many for Alice, so we took that out. It also didn't quite cut together too well either, and you'll probably say that I've kind of tweaked it a little bit more. I've tightened up some of the cuts, but at the time it wasn't really working in the edit. And scene 11 is actually only one shot, so I'll put that together with scene 12. And scene 12 is what was intended to be the final scene of the film, so that was going to be the ending. So we changed the ending to the film by removing this final scene, and the ending that we were left with leaves it quite ambiguous as to whether the witch gets Alice at the end of the film. So you're kind of thinking, does she, doesn't she? But in this scene here that is being deleted, it kind of tells you what has happened to Alice. So that was another reason for getting rid of it as well. So I've literally just put these scenes together, I re-edited them because I couldn't open the original timeline for some reason, just wasn't opening on my computer. But I had some notes, and I had, so I knew exactly what shot I had in what order. So I'll put that together as it was. And I've tightened up some of the shots as well, the cuts. But bear in mind when you watch it, this is, it's really very rough. So there's no grade. So that's why it looks a bit washed out. There's no sound edit, design, sound effects. There's no music. There's no final mix in there. So I'm going to be talking over the top of it anyway. So that doesn't really matter. So this is deleted scene 6, Alice and baby scare. So this is Alice settling down in her bed, and this is part of a dream sequence. So she turns over in her bed. See the skeleton falls out of bed. The cut there, that was one of the problems that we had. You couldn't get that to cut properly, but I've kind of worked on it as I put this together, like now, as opposed to like 2019. And it worked a little bit better than what it originally did, but yeah, so it's quite a short thing, and it was just part of a dream sequence that Alice was having. So this is deleted scenes 11 and 12. This was the original ending, and this is when Chris returns to the house. So that's scene 11, one shot, and then he ends up at the house.
Alice, are you okay?
And I thought this was quite cool to have Alice underneath this kind of sheet. As you can see, look, it looks very greyed out, Alice, in the room because we haven't colour corrected these shots.
You're not going to try and stab me again, are you? Listen,
so this is basically
about before,
Chris apologising
I was an
for
idiot.
what he did earlier.
I'm sorry, okay?
Walking out the argument that they had.
Alice? Alice?
And then this line of dialogue that she says,
waited long enough for this night, my love,
is very, very cheesy, which I didn't like, to be honest, so that really didn't work. So I'm pleased we took that out. The DP didn't like the sound of the kissing, so I let the scene run on and on and on, and he, just to annoy him a little bit, just to wind him up, which you can actually see in the blooper reel. So have a watch of that as well. Just give them a little bit of alone time. This was supposed to be how the film ended, so it was going to end like that. But then it was very, very similar to what we ended up having, but with Alice. It was more of a shock effect, the ending that we did have, but it was more ambiguous. So I hope you liked watching those 2 deleted scenes from the film. If you haven't seen the film, then go and watch it. It's in 2 parts on TikTok, but it's if you want to watch it without any cuts, then you can go to YouTube and watch it on there. It's on there fully. There's loads of behind the scenes videos, footage, there's blooper reels, there's all sorts there. So fill your boots, and if you like what you see, give me a like, shares, subscribe to the channel and whatnot. You know what to do, you know. And thanks for watching.